Okay. Hi, I'm Michael Jordan with AB Friendly Company in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and you're down at the Underground Meadery where we do basement brewing and teaching you how to make fine meads from all different kinds of stuff. Today is a big show, lots of stuff going on, lots of questions that were asked. I'm going to try to answer them all that I can. Had some really good questions come in from a couple different people about processes of what to do after we make the meads, and Michael, my meads aren't filtering, and man, some great stuff, great questions and stuff. So I'm going to try to hit a whole bunch of stuff right now. But before we start everything, this one right here is called Blueberry. Haven't even opened up yet. We'll see if it'll spray everywhere. Remember, none of our videos are edited. What you're seeing is live of how I make mead. And a lot of the meads that you're seeing aren't my specialty meads, with a lot of processes and stuff that if you've seen some of the other ones, like the American Mead Makers Association video that's on our series of making the CBD mead and stuff, big process of adding a whole bunch of stuff to it to kind of make it go. And it won. I mean, it won a Mazer Cup. So, I mean, small processes and stuff and doing this stuff like this is a lot of fun. So let's just start off with everything right off the bat. First thing we do is open a mead. Now, I like flip top bottles the best, or twist off, because if you twist, you can like your old Coca-Cola you shook up, just get bleed it off a little bit. Or flip top. Flip top, put your hand on the top and pop it. Now, when you pop it, if it did, it's not going to go anywhere because I got my hand on it. And then just kind of let it up a little bit. And I put my thumb underneath it and crack the top to make sure there's no pressure. That way, don't spray everywhere if you've got it carbonated. But looks pretty good. Okay, so we're not having any problems. So we're going to go with a dry blueberry. There's 8 ounces and a little bit. So about 9 to 10 ounces there, my 8-ounce mark. But there's a reason for it. I usually try to pour an 8-ounce glass before I really get into things. So there's an 8-ounce glass of blueberry mead. All right, so let's give it a little taste. Smoky. Good legs. Smells like blueberry. Really smoky. Has a really smoky taste to it. Really cool. That's really good. Okay. So now I've got my mead ready and I'm ready to go. So before all of this got going, I took 10 minutes to prep this. So everything you see, it took me about 10 minutes to prep. I went over to where I have some meads that are staged, and I picked one. This one has been going since January 1st. Cloudy. We're 6 months in. Fermentation is done, but it's cloudy. Nothing's settling out. So what I'm going to do now is I would take this and I would stick it in my refrigerator for a week, next Friday, and let everything kind of settle out of it. When it comes to getting out of settling, I will pour it really slow through this metal coffee filter until there's about like this much at the bottom, and then you'll have about this much out of your gallon, because we're going to leave that as residual. Now, the residual I could add more honey to, more water, and more fruit to of the same mixture, and re-energize the yeast and do a second run. But I'm not really into all that stuff of saving yeast and all kinds of stuff. I do have a yeast cake that I've had for 9 years that I'm using for my King's Mead, but it's almost done. I'm going to have to redo a new culture for it, and whole different thing of doing yeast cultures. But this mead has been done fermenting. It is time to put in the refrigerator to cold crash it. So I took my mead off the rack and I walked up to my refrigerator and I put this in it. As I'm at my refrigerator, I grabbed 2 jugs out. Okay? Both jugs have been cold crashed. One once, one twice. Show you the difference. So I went up and I got my 2 jugs out of the refrigerator from the last week. This one is a cranberry blueberry. Oh no, cranberry black cherry. Super cool. So this is a dragon's blood cranberry black cherry. Dark red. I mean, it's got a beautiful red color too. This has been cold crashed for 1 week. Very little sediment at the bottom. It's all fallen. So we've cold crashed it, and now we're going to rack it into another jug to cold crash a second time. Now you could add potassium sorbate and kill everything and do some stuff, but you know, I've got time. You know, I'm making 52 gallons of mead right now, and I brew a lot of mead more than that. So I got plenty of time. Fermentation's done, put it in the refrigerator. 1 week later, take it out. Set your bucket up. Get your secondary jug. Place this on top of your bucket. Get what we call a siphon tube. And on all my siphon tubes, I have a filter. Right, it's a little brewer's filter that I got. And I stick it in my jug like that. And I give a pull. Super simple, super easy, and tastes damn good. So when I siphon this one over, if it didn't taste good, I mean, sometimes I pour a little glass and do some stuff like that and try to see, you know, how things are and what's going on with them. But if this tastes good just on the residual, I won't be back sweeting it or anything. That I'll probably just cold crush this one more time, rack, bottle. I mean, if it tastes that good. There's a couple things that I'm going to do right now to show you something cool, right? So we're going to pull this over. Now this started at 115. Okay, so we're at starting gravity of 1.115. Now it should be floating like this, right? No, it should drop. All right. So we started at 115, and we are down at 1.05. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we started off at 20% alcohol, holy crap, and we take 5 off that, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is sitting at about 15 to 16% right now. That's pretty good. All right, I rinsed it off. Don't want to cross-contaminate stuff. All right, so put that back in here. I don't want to break it. So we got our hydrometer reading and everything ready to go. Look, filtering process is all done. Right on. I'm going ahead and I'll just rinse out my filter. Super cool about these filters that I've got. If there's anything in them, they get caught. You know, this is made to catch stuff or to keep stuff out. So when I rinse it off, any pulp that's on the outside blows off. And if I do a reverse rack where the pulp goes in the inside to catch it, there's what we call a catch basin at the bottom here. It pops off and you can clean out these filters, man. They're a super great filter. If you get them at your brew shop, get about 20 of them. It'll last you 20 years. I mean, reuse them, recycle, and you don't have to use them all the time. What's really good about these is that you can just fill them up with water with your tube. Put your cap back on the bottom, and you blow out any residual that's around the filter. So cleaned out my filtering unit and everything. I've got everything over. Took my specifically gravity reading, in which I'm going to, there it is, put right here that we finished off at 1.050, lasting out at about 15%. Pretty happy about that. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to take the card off and I'm going to transfer it to our new jug. We don't want to lose our information, right? So now we've got our new jug. This was a blueberry. This is a cherry. Look at the difference, man. A little lighter color. Super cool. But I'm going to pour this back in. I'll let a little bit at the bottom. No back sweeten needed there. God, that was good. So now I've got my starting gravity, my finishing gravity, and this is all ready to be put back in the refrigerator for its second cold crash to clarify it, right? But in a week from now, it'll be clarified. How do I know that? Because I've taken out this one. This one had been fermented, cold crashed, racked, cold crashed, and now we've got this product, which we will rack and ready to bottle. Now, as you can see, there's a little bit of residual in the bottom. Save that for the brewer. And let me put this to the side because we'll probably have to drink that later. All right, so now I've transferred and I've got it into where it's going to cold crash for bottling. I've cold crashed one, 2 times around, and it's ready for bottling. How do you know how good it is? All right, we're going to put a light behind it. Look at this. Yeah, look at that. Clear all the way through. Probably can see my face, maybe. I don't know. Might look better through there. But this one's been cold crashed twice. And what we're going to do is we're going to rack it into a jug for aging or for rebottling. I cold crash it, rack it into a jug, and then I rack it from the jug to different bottles, or I leave it in the jug to age or to take to parties. So as I take this off, I set it on my stand. Recycle or reuse. This was our water jug that we started off with. Remember, place those somewhere else. Keep your lids. Good reason why, right, is that we're going to take this clover mead. It's been cold crashed twice. Stick my filter in it. Now I want you to see, right, when we first got the one, there's like this much headspace from the fermentation. After racking it, right, we got a little bit less fed taste, but we got to keep some of that to drink. As you can see, as you rack them down and clarify them more, you lose some. That's why I said save the must and stuff at the bottom and drink that. The yeast and stuff's going to help your digestive system anyway, and you're not wasting product. But this is looking good. Give a little turn to get all that we can out. Look at that, just siphoned right away. Looks good. But see, with these 1-gallon jugs that I've saved, that was $1. So I've got an aging device that's costing me $1 that I can bottle from later. Right? I can turn around and bottle it from this later because now it's super clean. All the residual and all the stuff's gone. And, you know, you can throw potassium sorbate in and stuff and kill stuff and drop down. You can throw some bentonite in it. I mean, there's a lot to brewing that you can add and do. I mean, you know, we've talked about books and stuff before. Man, this looks great. Look, we'll transfer over the label to the new batch. Right? I'm going to put my lid on it. All right, so from here, as you can look how clean and clear that is, man. That looks great, man. So from here, I can age this for as long as I want. I can take this and I can grab some little bottles like this. And I can start filling these bottles up with here. You know, just like how you saw us do with the funnel. Just put the funnel in, fill them up, cork them, cap them, whatever you like to do. Flip top bottles, whatever you want. Or you just leave it in this. I'm getting ready to do an event in Colorado with a guy named Ben McKibben at Neoteric Farms and Propagation Systems in Colorado. We do about at least 1 to 2 events at his location every year. And I'll probably just take this batch down with me. You just pour it off in glasses and let everybody drink. It'll be gone in seconds. Football parties, campouts, going to a buddy's birthday party, something. Why bottle it when I can just carry a jug? It gets everybody really lit on a good premium product, and people like you a lot. So there's the whole system. I got it all going through, and man, with this one, it was so clear and so nicely. There's nothing in there. No muss, no fuss. and a good clover mead. Man, I like a good clover mead. So that jug's ready for the next fermentation. So you wash that jug out, and you place that jug right in front of you. And we start at the beginning all over again. I'm Michael Jordan with AB Friendly Company, and you're down at the Underground Meadery. And now we're going to make a mead, right? So this whole process has got us right to where at the beginning. I pretty much have gotten down to my 8 ounces now. Let's try it. God, I love mead. So, man, I just transferred from a dry clover mead to a really dry blueberry. Man, that was super cool. Super good taste. So let's start off with what we need. We're going to be brewing with the coffee pot method that I've got my little master coffee pot guy going. It holds approximately 4 cups of coffee. I fill it all the way up and I get my coffee pot going. Today we're making a super cool one. It's called Rambutan. How do I know it's called Rambutan? It's because it's the fruit we're going to use, right? So, and I kind of cheat a little bit because, man, when I started doing this, I had a guy send me these. This is called the Rambutan. It's a little furry, man, I don't know what it is. It looks like a cockabur or something from a burdock plant. Man, it's super hairy looking. And he sent me a whole bunch of them, right, to eat, right? They're like dribbles or quibbles or whatever from Star Trek, right? They're these little furry things. What's super cool about them is he said you find the base of it, you just pop your thumb in the bottom of this, and you peel it. And you peel off this little furry thing, and you get an eyeball. Looks like a big white grape, man. And in the center of this big white grape, he said you put your thumb down one side and you give it a squeeze and a push. And he's right. It just pops around and goes around it. And there's a seed inside. Kind of about the size of an almond. So there's like an almond seed inside there. I don't know if you can see it real good. But then you get this white pulp. Kind of feels like eyeball. Tastes like a tropical grape. I really enjoyed them. But to do all that, I mean, you have to husk and peel all these little bad boys, right? So Nabe was really cool. Nabe sent me some of these for my kids to eat. But then from Thailand, he sent me Rambutan in a can. So that was really cool of him. And the reason that they're really cool is that the seeds roll out of the Rambutan. So I really like the texture and the taste that go with them. So Rambutan. I'm going to change jugs though because I want a big mouth jug. So I'm going to put my recipe here of what this is called Rambutan. And what I'm going to do is I got these cans and I had my big filter. Where's my big filter? There it is. Okay, and I have my big filter, big funnel from the top of a Smirnoff vodka bottle. And that way I can pour the syrup in without making a big mess. Because these came packed with some syrup. I don't know if they'll fit down my tube or not. We'll just try one. Oh, it did. So, well, barely. I think I got to force these in. I'll just pour them all out of this can. So I got a whole bunch of them in this can. Make sure they're all pressed out and all the stuff. And then that way, they're easier for me to pick from. And I'm going to put these Rambutans in here. And, you know, usually in all of our videos, we throw in the honey first. But I'm going to get the product in because when we shake the honey up with it, We're going to really mash the fruit up with it, because this is a interesting fruit, man. It's like calamari or something. It's the texture's odd. Just to let you know, I appreciate Ned for thinking about us and doing something cool. Yeah, but they don't really like gush up or nothing. You know, I thought about running them through a juicer, but I don't think there's much juice in them. They're kind of like a super odd. My kid thought it was like eating a clam. That was really sweet because they were like chewy like that. All right. And so the 2 cans is roughly 16 ounces. Is how I deciphered from the can. Is they're about 8.11 ounces. So there's about 16 ounces of syrup and rambutan that we're putting in here. Because I mean, at least these ones were all de-seeded. So he did send me some cool stuff, right? Other than the fruit, which I thought is cool. The fruit is super cool. I like doing exotic stuff and getting stuff sent to me. So this was really cool. So we added 2 cans of rambutan to it. Whoops. You can see the can. Okay. And the fruit. All right, so this is what we're using. My kids will probably eat those here this afternoon. And this is what we got in our jug starting off. Now we're going to add 2.5 pounds of clover honey. I guess I should go through the ingredients. Is that we're adding 16 ounces of rambutan fruit from a can. We're going to be adding 2.5 pounds of clover honey. And we're going to be using Red Star yeast. And we're going to be using a gallon jug of water from the store. For the equipment we're going to use, we're going to be fermenting in a 1-gallon jug. We'll be using a balloon for our airlock. We'll need to take a temperature reading, a starting gravity reading. You will need a pair of scissors to cut open your yeast. You'll need a tube to check your specific gravity. You're going to need a coffee pot to warm your water up to get ready to go. You're going to need a writing utensil to write your directions on it. And of course, our recipe that we always tape to our jug, so it's easy to transfer and move around as we do work. I think I've covered everything. We've placed our rambutan. Now we're placing our honey in. Right, this is 2.5 pounds of honey. I got a really big mouth jug today. Usually I don't do this. Usually see me what we do, we call the colossal turn, right? Where you get the honey running into the jug. Yeah, remember to love it up. That way the honey doesn't build on the top of your jug and the air comes out, makes a big bubble, and then you got honey on the side of your jug. People use funnels. Then it just leaves you got to clean a funnel. And honey's sticky. So learn to make a good calm hand. And I mean, I've been making mead since 1996. Really got into beekeeping in 1999. And man, I've been making meads pretty heavily since 2003. So I've got a pretty steady hand. Remember, when you get it there, just go ahead and turn and lift, and then you don't have honey everywhere, and it makes it really good. This is what the coffee pot's for, is we want all the residual sugar out, so we're going to pour that right in the jug, about a cup. Remember to always save your lids. Recycle, reuse. I usually fill these back up from my 55-gallon drums of honey. Remember, when you put the hot water and stuff in and you do the shake, take a drink, because now we're shaking. All right, remember, the hot water mixed with the honey is going to make a steam. It's going to blow out. That's why I squeeze the jug before I put the lid on. And as you can see, it's popped back out. If you're using glass or mason jars and stuff where you got your honey, remember, be careful with this. Swirl it in a section and around and not up and down like I'm doing it, because the hot water and stuff will come out of that lid. And, you know, if you're using really hot water, it might scald. But, you know, I got my honey all dissolved and ready to go. And now we've got 2.5 pounds of honey mixed with our rambutan fruit. I'm going to add a little bit more hot water to this to help dissolve some of that honey. I'll probably add 2 more cups. Here we go. Oh, my lid. I got to get my lid. I grabbed the wrong lid. Remember, I save all my lids. Save, recycle, reuse. Grab the wrong lid, but we're ready to go. Oh, we're shaking again. Okay. Yeah. Beat that fruit with the honey. That way the yeast has something to attack. Right on. No honey, no fuss, no muss. Okay. So now we've got honey and rambutan fruit from a can. Let's go ahead and take and fill this up with water now. My gallon jug has roughly this much water left in it. I'll water my plants, feed my dog, drink it, recycle, reuse. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and give this one more little shake. Make sure everything's kind of mixed up because we're going to take a specific gravity reading. Now remember, when you're using diced frozen fruit and stuff like this, when it comes out of your jug, it may float into your testing tube. So be careful with that. Looks like I got a good mix. I'm going to take a hydrometer reading now to see what our mix starts off with. There it was, see? Ho, ho, ho. Had a couple of them fall in there. So let's go ahead and let's try this here. Push the fruit down there to the bottom here a little bit. Nice. All right, we're at 1.100. So let me write that down. That was really cool. I pushed the fruit down and that was really good. 1.100. Good starting gravity. Let me make sure that the fruit's not pushing up, push it all the way to the bottom. Look at that, huh? Make sure 1.1005. That's close enough. What's 0.005, right? I mean, God, we do what we can. All right. I will need to wash this hydrometer. But we've got our hydrometer reading. Let's take a temperature. Like my temperature around 68 to 78 degrees to make my yeast activate according to climate and altitude. Your climate, altitude, and yeast pack may tell you what you need to use. I've been brewing for a while. I like mine around 73 degrees. Makes my yeast start off slow and then really roll hard. So makes it really good for me. We're at 70. So, you know, we're looking good. I'm going to go ahead. I will pour this back in, but what I want to do first is I'm going to put my yeast in. Use your scissors, cut the top off. And you can measure it out into little amounts and stuff. This is usually made to make 3 to 5 gallons of mead. But we're doing a gallon, but you know, it was $1 for the pack, and I don't have time to do all that. I'm not doing, when I do my bigger bulks, I do some stuff, but like this is not a big deal. We're going to go ahead and take a drink because you know what it is. Time to do the jostle. Right? We want to mix that yeast up in there a little bit. It's what helps starts the starter. Give a little jostle like that. And then we'll pour the residual back in. Remember, you might have fruit in it. Boom, boom. Super splendid easy. Got our temperature reading and everything started where it's really good. Put our date on our jug. And our tag. And you know what goes on next. Bam! Rambutan fruit mead. Hey, I know this was a long one. A lot of people aren't going to watch all of it because most people only watch 10 to 20 minutes of a video. This has gone a little bit longer. We went from everything from cold crashing, double cold crashing, racking, aging, how to make a Rambutan fruit mead, the equipment that's needed to do it. I mean, this is a pretty good one to go all the way around. I do want to give a big shout out to Dan Wildenwright, who sent us the blood honey from Hawaii. It's starting to clear up, buddy, and it's looking sweet. And I'm looking so forward to drinking it. I'm hoping it turns out I got goosebumps from just thinking about how this guy got me this blood honey from Hawaii. I couldn't imagine the sacrifice he made to specially separate stuff from Christmas berries. I'm really happy about it. So I want to give a shout out to him. I also want to give a shout out to Tim Kozad for supplying us with butter beer, some hibiscus, some huckleberry. He made a tropical fruit one. Thanks for coming over and drinking with us, man. Thanks to his brother, Forrest Kozad, for letting us come over and brew at his place every once in a while and stuff. So I wanted to tell those people, thanks for letting us come over to your places and brew. Leonard Kitley, man, thanks for coming over to the Underground Meadery and showing us some of your stuff, the butterscotch. That was super great. If you guys ever want to come through Wyoming and sit down with us and try some of these meads and bring your own meads, would love to have you. We'll take you over here and we'll show you 2 beehives that we used to teach kids with, and we'll drink some meads and we'll talk. Have a great time doing it. But I'm Michael Jordan with AB Friendly Company. We're wrapping it up here down at the Underground Meadery. As we said, we've got balloons going, we've got some racking, we've got some making, and of course, we're drinking. And I want to let y'all know, right, that great things come with great mead making and great friends. Like, subscribe, share, let everybody know that you're making mead.